So guys, welcome back to another episode. Today I'm going to be reviewing the Wilson Pro Staff 6.0 85. Probably one of the most iconic rackets ever made. It's been in the hands of legends such as Stefan Edberg, Pete Sampras, and of course, Roger Federer. So the racket's not actually mine. It belongs to a coach that I know, and he's trusted me with doing a racket review with it. So let's get it out and have a little look at it. If I can get it out of the bag. There we go. Yeah, it's in pretty mint condition, barely been played with. It's strung with synthetic gut, thank God, because if I was stringing this with Lynx Tour, it'd probably break my arm. It's got an 85 square inch head, it's 340 grams in weight, and just look at that beam width. It's ridiculous. It's just so thin. Don't know how you get any power out of this thing at all, but again, the guys that were playing with this racket were playing, you know, pretty much full bed of gut, you know, at a really high tension. It's built for control, precision, so yeah. Enough of me talking about it. Let's just get it into a play test, see what it feels like. Oh, yeah. You can feel the weight already. It's like dense, yeah. 340. I think that when Pete Sampras was using this racket, it was more like he played with it at about 400 grams. And with an 85 square inch head, that's pretty ridiculous, to be honest, but just feel like when you hit the sweet spot, it's dreamy. It's like so dense going through the ball. It's like really sweet feeling. If you get it wrong though, it's a bloody nightmare. So I remember when I was a kid, at about 14 years old, I was just obsessed with Federer, you know, Sampras, and I managed to get my hands on a Pro Staff 90. That's what I played with from the age of 14 to like 17, and I just always wanted to play with the 85. I knew I wasn't going to ever swap to it, but I just wanted to play with it, and no one had one. And it's taken me like, you know, nearly 15 years to actually find one in good enough condition to play with. So, you know, pretty big moment for me and the channel. You obviously couldn't find a grass court either because, you know, it is September, but I would have loved to have hit with this thing, you know, at Wimbledon or somewhere like that. Like, whoa, a few missed times there already. Gonna have to get used to this. Dial in. Yeah, I mean, it's just so plush. The weight through the ball, like, got to really zone in on, whoa, that's not looking good. Don't tell Jason. That's whose racket it is. Yeah, it's like so solid through the ball when you get it right. But you've got to be so precise. I mean, the sweet spot's like the size of a 5p piece. You got to work so hard to get any spin. I mean, there's just absolutely no spin on it. Ah! Yeah, I mean, you've got to really adjust your strokes to go through the ball more. Almost got to play with a chopper grip with this thing. I mean, my backhand really suits it, but forehand, I've got to adjust. Oh, that slice was pretty nice, actually. Yeah, that's more the ball, like, there we go. Flatter. Whoa, again. There we go. I mean, the margin for error is just so low. If you're trying to get spin, you know, the head size is small enough, and then the sweet spot is even smaller. And then you're trying to, you know, brush up the back of it. It's just no chance. A bit as well. There we go. I'm gonna try and take a shorter backswing, just adjust, because we are playing with brand new balls. There we go. Just get, there we go. Just guarantee the contact, that's it. And just almost just push through the ball more instead of what we're all taught to do nowadays, which is brush up the back of it. There we go. Yep. There we go. Hitting the ball. Oh, sorry, yep. That's it. There we go. Yeah, found it. playing like hard labour with this thing. Oh, here we go. I mean, once you get used to it, it's not actually too bad. Once you find your range. But, we go. There we go. There we go. Whoa. Hard to guarantee the contact there. There we go. Yeah, I mean, once you find your range with this, it's actually pretty comfortable, but I can't imagine playing on anything high bouncing with this, where the ball's really getting up. Just becomes so hard to control and time the ball. But anything when the ball's coming through faster or, you know, lower, it's actually very easy to play with. So you can just guarantee the timing, and then you just put the racket behind the ball and play through it, and it's actually a very nice feeling. There's a real kind of crispness to the frame. When you middle it, you know, it just feels like there's so much weight behind the ball, feels so easy when you get it right. But then if you get it wrong and you're slightly off, it's a nightmare. You know, the shot goes through your arm, and, you know, obviously you catch a bit of frame on there as well. Here we go. And obviously back in the day, everyone was playing with grip size 4s because everyone was hitting the ball flatter. Whereas these days, everyone's, you know, wanting more and more spin, more and more power. So they're going down in grip size because you can move the racket quicker. So this is like a grip size 4. So it feels absolutely massive with an overgrip on. So it's like actually really hard to adjust. Oh, slice is dreamy. Let's have a go on a few of those slices. It's like really easy to just play through the ball. And the control is actually on another level. I can see why players have moved away from this sort of racket. I can't imagine Yannick Sinner using it, but it was definitely effective in its time. Yeah, I mean, now that I've really found my timing, it's actually so sweet. And playing indoors, like, you know, the ball's not moving around too much, you know, the conditions aren't too difficult. Ball's always pretty much coming to me. So easy to just guarantee the contact. A few more. Whoa, that hurt the elbow. Here we go. All right, let's try and turn it up a little bit. Because it's so heavy, it's just also a little bit harder to maneuver, which, you know, hasn't been a problem for me in the past because I've used the, you know, RF97, which was 340, but that was a few years ago now. And I use a racket that's a lot lighter and a lot easier to maneuver. Bit of pace on this thing. So the one thing that I love about the Pro Staff, apart from the feeling and obviously, like, you know, the great players that have used it and it's iconic and that sort of thing, is the fact that they are very difficult rackets to use. You know, they're not built for everyone, and they demand things out of you. They demand that you get your contact point right because, you know, they're a stiffer racket, and you know, you get it right and you get rewarded massively, or you get it wrong and you really know about it. Whereas sometimes when you're playing with, you know, the more modern rackets, you know, they reward you almost for sometimes not being in the right position, because they just give you the power and they give you the spin, whereas this really makes you work for it. You know, I think that there's, you know, it's not a bad thing obviously, because the game's just moved in a different direction, but you know, you need more power, you need more spin. But I think that there is a certain element of, you know, you want to work hard and you want to kind of, you know, get in the right place for the ball. And I feel like these rackets make you do that more than any other. I think that's what I've learned about using them pretty much all of my life. Don't get me wrong, players who use other rackets, they definitely work hard. Not saying they don't, just saying that, you know, this really forces you to. Because if you don't, you just don't get anything out of it. Right, here we go. Ah. Hey. Hey. So we're gonna take this thing back to its natural habitat, the net. Can't say I'll do it justice like, you know, Edberg and Sampras and Rog, but I'll give it a go. That was nearly pretty good. It's pretty crisp on the volleys. Again, if you get it wrong, you know, but oh my God. Right, here we go. Lock in. Sorry, you go. I'll go. Right, lock in now. No errors. Hey. Hey. And the feel, it's just incredible. It's pretty much unlike any racket I've really ever played with, apart from the 90, which I played with for about 4 years. It's a good ball, mate. Look at that. Oh no, and look at that. It's my fault, not the racket. Hey. 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 Take it. Yeah, again, it makes you, you know, get in the right position. It makes you work harder with your feet, keep the racket out in front, because again, if you get it wrong, this racket isn't going to help you. But if you get it right, then the rewards are pretty huge. You know, and it makes you realize how much of the game is about movement and, you know, kind of getting in the right positions and seeing the ball early. Last one. Hey. 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 Good ball. Yeah, unbelievable bit of kit. Like Sampras. It's actually so much weight behind it on the serve. No wonder he hit 2 firsts. Joke. Can't imagine I'll be getting much spin on the slider wide, but flat tee slash body feels a joke. It's like, it hurts when you get it wrong. It genuinely hurts. It's like my racket, you can get a bit of a bad vibration, the Pro Staff 97 V14, but with this, it's like genuinely hurts you a little bit, and the grip size is actually killing me because it's so big. There we go. Serving's like a joke with it because it's just such a small head size. You can be so precise, but the power isn't a lot, so you have to kind of like relax into it and almost like push it. It's accurate though.
It's like once you adjust for it and you realise that you've got to really get underneath the ball to get any spin whatsoever, it's absolutely fine. You just got to look after the ball more. I just can't believe how accurate the serving is. Like, it's actually crazy how precise you can be with this. Feeling like Pete Sampras. Ella doesn't know who Pete Sampras is. Tough. It's going to be a long car journey home for her. Going to educate Ella. So guys, just got back from the tennis, coffee in hand, and my arm is in bits. Hitting with that 85 square inch racket has ruined my arm, and normally, you know, I'm a pretty strong guy, good timing, decent technique, you know, not obviously the best, but you know, I'm able to handle these sorts of rackets, and I guess that it was just pretty difficult. You know, these rackets demand so much out of you, and to see how the greats of the game have played with these, it just makes you realize how good they were. But on the way back in the car, I was having a bit of a daydream. I was a little bit tired, and I was thinking back to, you know, when I was a junior, 13, 14, 15, and I had my Pro Staff 90 on the courts in Scunthorpe. And, you know, I was like obviously trying to copy what Federer was doing. He was like the guy, he was my idol, obviously. So many people, he's the person you look up to. And it just kind of made me think about, you know, how important like kind of these rackets are, and how important your belief in these rackets are as well. And, you know, I hit with so many rackets, I do so many reviews that, you know, I enjoy hitting with a lot of these rackets. I think they're great, you know, like the Pure Aero 98, in 20 years time, that's going to be a classic frame as well because of Alcaraz. But, you know, like the Head Extreme, everything like that, they're obviously great rackets. But I don't feel like any racket comes close to the legacy of the Pro Staff. Just how many great players have used it, and, you know, holding it in your hand, maybe it's something to do with your belief, maybe it's something to do with, you know, how you think about the racket, but you can't deny it that they feel special and they bring something out of you, you know. And I was just thinking back to when I was a junior and, you know, playing with that Pro Staff 90 and what it brought out of me. And nowadays I'm using the, you know, the Pro Staff 97, and it still feels like it's got that kind of legacy about it that, you know, all the Pro Staffs do. And that's partly the reason why I use the Pro Staff, not just because it suits the way that I play, but I guess I've got total belief in it. So yeah, I guess that's a good place to end the video. Yeah, as always, big thank you for watching. If you haven't done already, throw me a like, a subscribe, and I'll see you next time.